Hello and welcome back. We are in Exodus again, and there's no better time than the moment to be reading. And there's so many opportunities that come up in life, right? So many opportunities as well the Jewish people had in the desert. Uh, they did good, right? They did good to begin with. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think I know a little bit, but I don't know nothing at the end of the day. So we gotta keep reading. So the artisans for building the tabernacle, and this is Exodus 31. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, See, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom, in understanding, in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, to design artistic works, to work in gold, in silver, in bronze, in cutting jewels for setting, in carving wood, and to work in all manner of workmanship. And I, indeed I, have appointed with him Aholiab. Wow, that was something. The son of Ahishamach, of the tribe of Dan. And I have put wisdom in the hearts of all the gifted artisans, that they may make all that I have commanded you. The tabernacle of meeting, the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is on it, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, the table and its utensils, the pure gold lampstand with all its utensils, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering with all its utensils, and the laver and its base, the garments of ministry, the holy garments for Aaron, the holy garments of Aaron, on the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister as priests, and the anointing oil and sweet incense for the holy place. According to all that I have commanded you, they shall do. So they're still building. They say the tabernacle. It's like the temple, right? Before the temple was built by King David and then Solomon again. But who knows? I think, right? I haven't, like I said, I think I know a lot of this stuff, but we're going to re-clarify the more I read. But he's acquiring resources and people to do the work. God's work. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak also to the children of Israel, saying, Surely my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout the generations, that you may know that I am the Lord who sanctifies you. You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy to you. Everyone who profanes it shall surely be put to death, for whoever does any work on it that person shall be cut off from among his people. Everyone who profanes it shall surely be put to death. Maybe, like, you're not allowed to say that to people anymore. So, at least not in a public setting, right? So, whoever does any work on the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wow. And, well, like, you have laws like that, right? And then you have Jesus comes back, right? And the Pharisees give him flack about one of the disciples picking grain from a field. And then they question him a couple times about the Sabbath and working on it. And Jesus gives an example of, like, if your cow or an ox, like, fell in a trench, you're just going to leave it on a Sunday, just because it's the Sabbath? And it's like taking the law that they're putting into place right now, and that's what it leads to, right? That's the thing that Jesus has to come back for, is to rectify these laws that were put in place right now. Therefore, the children of Israel shall be kept the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations as a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And when he had made an end of speaking with him on Mount Sinai, he gave Moses 2 tablets of the testimony, tablets of stone written with the finger of God, and they were kept in the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, so before I read this, let's reiterate some stuff. So he was up there for 40 days and 40 nights, similar to what Jesus went through, right, with the devil. Another comparison, right? And in that time, maybe we'll do a little poll in the comments. What do you think that they got up to? What do you think the Israelites were doing while Moses was getting the 10 Commandments? Right? And God had already threatened them. And is continuing to do so, but for their obedience, because I don't know, they agreed. This was I don't want to say an agreement, right? Because that's not what it is. God is holding up a covenant, right? And from Abraham, from the times of Abraham, right? And what did they get up to? Let's read, right? Let's read. Now when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, "Come, make us gods that shall go before us." I'm going to read it again. Now when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, "Come, make us gods that shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." They would have stabbed that man right in his neck and left him for dead. They would have been like, "We don't know him. He hasn't taken care of us. What is going on?" That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Okay, so they forgot. They said, what are they asking for? Like, make them statues? For as for this Moses, the man who... And Aaron said to them, "Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So all the people broke off the golden earrings which were in the ears and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand, and he fashioned it with an engraving tool and made a molded calf. Aaron, what are you doing? Aaron, what are you doing? Then they said, "This is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt." I'm so confused. Make us gods that shall go before us. They're literally asking Aaron to make an idol. But they haven't received that law yet. Tell me that's the excuse. Okay, let's keep reading before John gets too frustrated. So when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. Then they rose early on the next day, offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. And the Lord said to Moses, Go, get down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They are getting up to no good. I left you alone for 1 minute. How could you possibly have messed it up this bad, this fast? This fast, right? Think about, you were in Egypt for 433 years. And you listened while you were in Egypt as slaves. And your God, I don't know, right? It's weird to say, but like, your God is only asking you for a couple things. And you couldn't even make it a month. You probably didn't even make it a week before you're like, Moses is dead, forget about him. Is the cloud still not on the mountain? I don't get that, you know? What about that? Who knows? And the Lord said to Moses, oh wait, hold on. 8. Then they have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded calf, and worshipped it and sacrificed to it. And said, This is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. Oh my goodness! They're making the calf. And the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and indeed it is a stiff-necked people. Damn, throwing shade. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them, and I will make of you a great nation. Then Moses pleaded with the Lord his God, and said, Lord, why does your wrath burn hot against your people, whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians speak and say, He brought them out to harm them, to kill them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce wrath, and relent from this harm to your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, and said to them, I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of, and I give to your descendants, and they shall inherit it forever. So the Lord relented from the harm which he would do to his people. Now Moses is being a good problem solver right now. And it's maybe a good thing that he did choose Moses and not Aaron at the first place, right? Because Aaron is just bending over backwards. Unless he doesn't know that it's wrong at the end of the day. Maybe that's what I'm missing, right? Is that they don't know it's wrong yet. And maybe that's just what they're used to. They've been living in Egypt for 433 years, where that is probably commonplace. And it's, you know, maybe it was a misguided idea. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to make excuses for them again. We're back. We're full circle again. I don't know. But Moses, like a bomb squad, rolls in with that rolly thing. I don't know what it's called. It's probably called like a T-Rex, something like that. And rolls in, and you're gonna go in, find the bomb, deactivate it, cut the green wire. It's probably just a button at the end of the day. If you cut wires, it probably just blows up. But he did it. He did it at the end of the day. He walked out triumphant. He said, Not today, God. These people have seen enough. 433 years. Please have some mercy on them. The reality of it is just, it's funny. It is funny. And Moses turned and went down from the mountain, and the 2 tablets of the testimony were in his hand. The tablets were written on both sides, and on one side and on the other they were written. Now the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, There is a noise of war in the camp. But he said, It is not a noise of the shout of victory, nor the noise of the cry of defeat, but the sound of singing I hear. And Moses should have started to get a little bit nervous. No, he should have been. Had faith in his people, right? He said, they're going to be all right. They're going to wait for me. They got my back. They know God's got them. So it was, as soon as he came near the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing. So Moses' anger became hot, smoldering, white fire hot. The great fire of heaven hot, right? So burn your corneas in a second hot, dude. And he cast the tablets out of his hand and broke them at the foot of the mountain. You know, I didn't remember that, but fitting, right? They didn't even get to the point where they could get the rules. Isn't that right? Isn't that something? Then he took the calf, which they made, burned it in the fire, and ground it into powder. And he scattered it on the water and made the children of Israel drink it. And he said, If you ever do that again, I'm going to kill you. There ain't no messing around anymore. That's what God is saying to me. So, and Moses said to Aaron, What did this people do to you that they have brought so great a sin upon them? So Aaron said, Do not let the anger of my Lord become hot. You know the people, that they are set on evil. For they said to me, Make us gods that shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. And I said to them, Whoever has any gold, let him break it off. So they gave it to me, and I cast it in the fire, and this calf came out. Now when Moses saw that the people were unrestrained, for Aaron had not restrained them, to their shame among their enemies. What is going on right now? Came down, flabbergasted. He said, the first rule, that there's no other God before me, right? The first rule, broke him. And then, I'm not 100% sure, but like, that's not really what happened with Aaron, right? Let's say. Now when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said, Come make us gods that shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man who brought before us out of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him. And Aaron said, Give me your things. So he received the gold and Aaron made this calf. And then proceeds to lie to Moses. And this lie is, when is it? 24. And I said to them, Whoever has any gold, let them break it off. So they give it to me, and I cast it into the fire, and this calf came out. I'm sure that calf did come out. Huh. And then so he in 26, right? So 25, Moses sees that the people who were more or less kind of maybe forcing Aaron into these actions, And then, I mean, Moses knows the commandments. And he knows maybe that some people can't be, like, trusted to a certain extent. And that, like, they wouldn't choose God. And maybe he needs to figure out who that is now. Because in 26, right? Then Moses stood in the entrance of the camp. And they're all standing together in a group. They're probably looking at Moses like, what do we do? Whoever is on the Lord's side, come to me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together to him. And he said to them, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, Let every man put his sword on his side, and go in and out from entrance to entrance throughout the camp. And let every man kill his brother, every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. This is a bloodbath. This is like Kingsman. Oh no, in the church. Ooh. So the sons of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and about 3,000 men of the people fell that day. So what is going on? The Lord God of Israel, let every man put his sword on his side and go in and out from the entrance through the camp, and let every man kill his brother, every man his companion. So the sons of Levi did according to the word of Moses. Then Moses said, Consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, that he may bestow on you a blessing this day, for every man has opposed his son and his brother. Now it came to pass on the next day that Moses said to the people, You have committed a great sin. But you told them to do it. I mean, I don't know what he's referring to. They're both great sins. And I don't even know, dude. I mean, literally, right? What are they to do? At what point do heads literally need to start rolling, right? Is that not why the French Revolution got so bad? Is that, like, it was just years of oppression. And it got to the point where the people were just making those heads roll. And it's 3,000 men. They just, wow. That's a lot of people that just off the face of the earth. I mean, I'm gonna sound cold or callous, but they were warned. They were certainly warned. Where was I? So now I will go up to the Lord. So he said, You have committed a great sin. So now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin and get a new tablet. Then Moses returned to the Lord and said, Oh, these people have committed a great sin and have made for themselves a god of gold. Yet now, if you will forgive their sin, but if not, I pray, blot me out of your book which you have written. I don't even want to be here anymore, dude. Now therefore go lead the people to the place of which I have spoken to you. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless, in the day which I visit for punishment, I will visit punishment upon them for their sin. So the Lord plagued the people because of what they did with the calf which Aaron made. At least Aaron was held accountable. In 35. All the way at the end. All the way at the end. That's funny. That is hilarious. Wow. That, have a little bit of patience, right? A little bit, just a tiny bit. Wait, more than a month, a week, right? I don't know how long they wait. It doesn't say how long. But, oh wait. And on the seventh day he rested. No, they was talking about God there. So that's not the timeline. Okay. So like that. I don't know how long they waited, but knowing them, not long. And they were singing and dancing by the time we got back. So, a couple days. So, what's the lessons that we should be getting. Don't be forgetful. I mean, the gold calf. How can you be so unconsciously, like, negligent of what you're doing? And Aaron, my God, what were you doing, my brother? Brother, what were you doing? What were you thinking? He was pressured by the people. It's too many people. He said he didn't want to. He said let them do what they're gonna do. But that's not. Shouldn't be that way. You gotta speak up, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, Aaron, and even if it makes me feel uncomfortable, John, or even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, listener. If it makes anybody feel uncomfortable, it is important to still, right, build that courage and faith in God and not do this. That's so blatant. That's like the definition of the word sacrilegious, and I don't even know the actual definition of it. I just know it's like the opposite of religion. Which isn't an exact definition, but if you go with the idea, it makes sense because this is not what God wanted. He didn't want a gold calf. He wanted a white sheep. That's all he was asking. And that's what they were. They were sheep. They were sheep at the end of the day anyways. What was the golden calf? I think it was Baal. Don't quote me on that yet. There wasn't a name given, at least not in the Bible, right? But if we look it up in Egypt, okay. No, I was almost right. The figure is probably not canon. Disclaimer before I say this. Not canon. The figure is probably a representation of the Egyptian bull god Apis. In the earlier period of the Canaanite fertility, the god Baal in the latter. In Exodus 32, the Hebrews escaping Egypt ask Aaron, the brother of their leader Moses, to fashion a golden calf during the long absence of Moses on Mount Sinai. The figure... Upon returning from the mountain with the tablets of the law and seeing the people worshipping the golden calf, Moses broke the tablets, symbolic of breaking the covenant relationship with God. So it was as serious as that, right? When Moses came back and he dropped the tablets, right? Because his jaw was probably bouncing off the floor. That was significant of breaking. God was done with this people. He said, "You ungrateful." He probably did, right? He's probably, I'm gonna. And Moses is like, please, dude. They don't know what they're doing. You haven't even given them the rules yet. And the idol melted down, pulverized, and mixed with water. The people were required to drink the mixture, an ordeal to separate the unfaithful. Oh. Who latter died in the plague, from the faithful who lived. Oh. God decided who was faithful or not. Okay. Defending the faith in God revealed to Moses against the calf worshippers were the Levites, who became the priestly caste. So the Levites were the ones who stood up. No offense, Aaron, but you didn't really do anything in that. But Yeah, they weren't having it. I wouldn't be having it either. That's the exact opposite of what I had asked you to do. So, yeah, what are you even going to do? You gotta get creative. I mean, what would you... So, like, God never manifests himself after this? Do we not see God like that? Well, he does, maybe, right? There's more stories to come, and there's not. But, like, that's crazy. It's deep. That's how people treat God. That's how people treat you. If they treat God like that, they're sure as Sally. They are treating you like that. But you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're interacting with. Treat it as if you are talking to God, right? At all times. I need to be talking to myself, right? At the end of the day, I need to be doing that. So, everybody, God bless and have a good day, right? Thank God for this opportunity to learn and grow in this garden that we call Earth. Have a good day and find some peace.